All right, guys, welcome back to Down Lane Bowling Channel. Again, me, Anthony, the co-host, with Lefty Fazone here. Today we got the new Roto Grip Rockstar. Matt, why don't you tell us a little bit about this ball?
So this ball has the rocker core, new core from Roto Grip, and has the Nano Star Solid, also new. The rocker core has an RG of 248, 050 diff, solid reactives, so the idle replacement. I laid mine out 4.5 by 4, pinned down. Anthony, a little bit of yours now.
Well, we've got it. We've thrown it a little bit. Actually had 300 with it last night, so that was really cool to see. We've got ours laid out 4.5 by 30 if you're a dual angle guy, or 4.5 by 1 3/4 if you're a Storm VLS guy. I'm excited to get this one on the lanes and show you guys what it's got. It's got a little bit more pop down lane, and I can't wait to compare it to my Sublime, which is one of my favorite balls right now. We'll see you guys on the lanes. Get quick. All right, we got it. Okay.
Now we gotta look at the camera.
Do you need this?
No.
Anything?
I'm not gonna look at the numbers.
Yeah, we'll look at the camera. All right, guys, we're bowling on the Earl Anthony PBA pattern, 43 feet, 28 milliliters. One of my most hated patterns as a player who bowls on the PBA patterns. It's not my favorite, so it was surprising to see. You know, first we started a little bit straighter. We started right about 10 with our feet. I do drift a little bit. I had to watch, make sure I didn't hit Matt's iPad there. What I saw was this ball was a little bit strong, straighter up on the, playing a little bit straighter. It's got good down lane motion, but, as everybody says, it revs up in the mid lane. But truly, with this ball, and I don't know if you saw it with this ball as well, Matt, this ball does read the mid lane pretty well. And as we threw it next to the Sublime, it was a little bit cleaner. But for me, it was also a little cleaner than the idle, but it still revved up in that mid lane a little bit weirdly, where I really saw it rev up. And then it had a lot of dynamic action for me down lane. It was very strong rolling. It's got a little bit more pop than the idle did, which is what they're advertising with this new Nano Star cover stock. So as we chased it a little bit to the right, or as we moved our feet to the right a little bit to move to the inside part of the lane, we were able to get this ball to really shape up nicely. And what we're going to call the money shot. I mean, I threw probably 2, 3, 4, 5 in a row here. From this area where the ball gave me a little bit to the left and had just enough recovery. I think because it was a little bit cleaner. So it had just enough recovery down lane. And as I missed in a little bit, because it is a little bit cleaner and, at 43 feet, it did come a little bit high, but it did strike quite often. It gave me a little bit of misroom that otherwise I wouldn't see with a stronger ball. And as we started throwing the Sublime, you can really tell that as we started to move right with that ball, where the Rockstar would kind of give me a light mixer, or it would get really close to getting back and getting through the pins, the Sublime was a little bit early. It looked like it labored down lane. And, as we got a little bit farther right, it really showed how much earlier to me the ball was. Now, I don't know what you thought, Matt, about what was happening. You can chime in here, but I thought that the new Sublime, or not the new, but the Sublime Focus was, it revved up probably, I don't want to say a few feet, but in my mind, it feels like a few feet.
It was probably a couple feet earlier.
A couple feet earlier, a little bit smoother off the spot, a little bit slower.
Yeah,
as some people
more
say.
rounded.
More of a rounded shape, as where the Rockstar I felt was a little bit cleaner, but it didn't lose control of the mid lane. I never lost control of that mid lane on this pattern, but it did give me that little bit more of a boomerang. It wasn't really a boomerang. I say boomerang because I'm left-handed and I think it's booming, but it's really not. But it's given me a good dynamic shape down lane where I could feel like I could use this as like a 1-2 punch with the Sublime Focus, where this ball comes into play when the lanes need to be something a little bit cleaner, or if I got to move in with a solid symmetric and like a phase AI isn't rolling for me. Any other balls that we're thinking about that are comparative or something that's in the bag? Some of Ascent for me, but that is gonna shoot through the mid lane a little bit more. I see it a little bit more than the Summit Ascent. And I think it's got a little bit more pop than the Sublime down lane. But if I'm looking for a big ball on the fresh, I'm going to start with that Sublime. And I feel like the Rockstar for me is going to be more of, if we see a little bit of breakdown or we're on a pair that hooks a little bit more.
Right. I totally see that. You like to throw the Sublime a lot. I like to throw the Optimum Idol still. I'm a huge fan of that ball. For me, I think they're going to be the perfect 1-2 punch, the Optimum and the Rockstar, because you see my first shot, standing around 21, got up the lane a little too much. 2-1, and then, like Anthony said, I think I threw 3 in a row, and then I was able to chase it right a little bit, kind of shape it with my hand. One shot I threw a light mixer, and then I shaped it with my hand a little, and I was surprised on how much I got to come back. I mean, pinned down. We didn't bowl long on it, so 43 feet, it shouldn't probably be using it, and it still looked good. Not great, but it looked good.
I think you definitely use this ball in 43 feet. As we saw, as we were moving a little bit right, I think if the lanes were a little bit tighter, I think it would be better playing a little bit straight up the lane to where the big balls might burn out a little bit when you're not into the body of the pattern or inside of where all the oil is kind of conglomerated. I feel like you could use it still.
Yeah, you can see the one shot I threw my focus, and you can see the one shot I threw my focus from the same spot as the Rockstar. It kind of definitely shaped earlier, and then I chased it right, and I left a weak 10 after I moved about 3 and 2. I threw the Rockstar from the same spot. I thought I was going to strike. It looked pretty good. I 2-8-10'd or 3-7-9'd.
I say the same thing.
Yeah.
2-8-10. Just on the left.
2-8-10. Just on the left. I thought it was good. So you can definitely tell it's a little bit cleaner than the Focus, a little bit longer hook spot, and needs a little more friction, but that could be because of the pin down. I did not see that in Anthony's. Anthony's definitely shaped a lot harder in the back than mine did. His is pin up. So I think the Rockstar definitely going to be that ball you can use on the fresh as a transition ball, a good benchmark ball, like kind of like a phase 2 almost, only a little bit more down lane than phase 2. Like I said earlier, I think this is going to be multi-purpose. You can use it on the fresh. You can be that first, second ball out of your bag. It's a little cleaner, a little more pop down lane. I think this is a ball for multiple styles. There's not one person that's going to hate it or love it. I think it's going to be good for the straighter people. They can stay a little bit farther to the right with it. And the big hook guys, because it can shape the down lane, they're going to be able to chase it in with it and just keep going with it.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel like this ball, is going to fit a lot of different styles. For me personally, it'd be like a step down right from that Sublime Focus, like we said. For the guys who are bowling league play, like Matt said again, guys who are a little bit, we'll say lower rev rate, who want to play a little bit more in the oil, this ball's going to pick up pretty well. And the guys who really want to wheel it, you're not going to get that forward rolling or that people say bogged down. We'll say it's not burning out like a Sublime Focus where it burned out.
Yeah.
This Rockstar is going to give you a little bit more dynamic shape down lane, and guys are going to be able to get in on it. Now, is it going to fit your bag, Matt? Is it going to be something you bring to tournaments? What do you think?
This ball will probably come with me to every tournament. As long as my idol's in my bag, this ball will be the perfect ball down from it. I'll be able to start with it sometimes. It'll be a step above probably my phase 2 in IQ Tour for the benchmark balls. But definitely, it'll be coming with me all the time. first, second ball out of the bag. For you, Ant?
Yeah, I think it's going to be somewhere around there. I still absolutely love my Sublime Focus. That's still my big symmetrical piece that I like to use. I feel like this ball for me could just kind of replace a Summit Ascent where it is, a little bit cleaner than the Sublime Focus, but it gives me a little bit more pop. I feel like the Ascent's a little bit more rounded. But overall, I think this ball is going to be fantastic for the league player and the sport pattern player. I mean, we've already seen a ton on the PBA Tour, which tells you that it's probably going to be pretty good.
Yeah.
I mean, if the guys are drilling already and they're throwing a lot of guys are using this ball. So you guys can come see me right at Town & Country Lanes, the Lab Pro Shop. You can come see Matt at
Revolutions down at Boulevard, Latham, or Dell Lanes.
Hey, and you know what? You can go see your closest or your favorite Storm VIP Pro Shop to come pick this ball up. It should be on the next few weeks. We're going to see you guys on the next review. This is Down Lane Bowling Channel.